So was there a career possibility with basketball for you?
I think if I really, really kept focusing towards the end of my college career, I think like as I got closer and college basketball was so much fun too, but it was totally different. I played 2 years at Texas A&M Kingsville, and then I transferred to Sam Houston State and played 2 years there. I made amazing friends. I love the girls, but it was just such a different atmosphere compared to high school basketball. And so I think towards the end of it, when I was getting towards my last 2 years, I was already kind of checking out and looking back into wrestling because I was like, I'm this close. I'm this close to graduating. And the second I graduate, I cannot wait to tell my dad, oh, it's time. Yeah.
That's the agreement we had.
I did. We were celebrating because I was the first in my family to graduate. And so I'm like, yay, I got a diploma. Dad, I want to wrestle.
Wow.
And he's like, well, okay, I guess things are changing, but you have 2 years. He's like, I'm going to give you 2 years to try and make it into the WWE. And if you don't, then you just got to stop. He's like, I don't want you doing this for your whole life.
Would that be 2 years from starting training?
Yeah.
So not even 2 years from your debut?
No, 2 years from starting training. And
wow.
My dad was so he was very protective because he knows how the business was, and he knows everyone in Texas in the wrestling business. And so he was very particular about who I was training with, where I was taking my first bumps, what rings I was getting in with what people. And most of the time he needed to be there too, because he just wanted to make sure that I was getting the right kind of training and the right taking care of, which I really appreciate. My dad really went out of, everything he had going on at home to like really help me and take care of me through that.
2 years is not a lot of time.
It's not.
It's not a lot of time to get signed anywhere, let alone get signed with WWE.
Yeah. And Instagram was just starting out at this point too. It was like starting to get its like rise. So like social media wasn't a huge thing. And I think WWE was looking at people on social media, but not really. They were going to fitness competitions and looking for athletes. And I was already done with basketball. So I was like, what do I need to do to get seen? What do I have to do to like put myself out there? And Tough Enough was starting back up that year. So I was like, okay, I did broadcast journalism. I could edit a video, and I made a little video and I submitted it for Tough Enough. I didn't make it to the finals, but I think that helped a little bit in getting me seen, just like a hint. And when I got the news that I wasn't making it to the finals, I was like, well, what else can I do? And I just tried to stay, in the know. I was like, where are they going to be at? Where could I go to get seen by someone? And the tryouts came out at the Arnold Classic in Ohio. And I was like, you know what? I had a good job after college that was really keeping me by and letting me train and do all these things. So it was really, really, I was in a good position.
What were you doing?
I was working in student housing.
Why is this funny?
I don't know. I just think it's so funny. So I started working in student housing while I was still playing basketball to help pay for my apartment with my sister. And it was a part-time job. And so it was fun because we like planned the events at the apartments, and it's mostly college students because you're in a college town.
Yeah.
But as I kept doing it after college, I was like, ooh, I can't do this forever. I cannot be around college students this much or parents that much either. But it was fun, and it was a really good position for me. But it showed me that an office job is not what I was meant to do.
So you found the tryout. You went to the tryout.
Yeah, bought plane tickets for me and my dad, and we went to the tryout. And I showed up, and I was in athletic wear, and I just walked straight up to the recruiter who was sitting at the WWE desk, and I said, hey, I'm here for the tryout. I'm ready to go. I've taken a couple bumps and rolls. I feel like super confident about this. Like I was like, I just want to be a part of this tryout. What do I need to do? And he like got up from the table and he looked at my feet and then he looked up at me and he goes, well, we kind of already have everybody for our tryout that we're doing here at the Arnold for the exhibition. So he gave me his card and he's like, send me some pictures and send me like your stats and what you've done and stuff like that. So I did. And then literally within like a couple of weeks later, they replied and they were like, hey, we'd like to invite you to a tryout in Orlando at the Performance Center.
Wow.
And that was like in 3 months. So I was like, yes. That was my evil laugh. They noticed me. And so I went to the tryout and I was like in shock. I really was. I was expecting a lot more. I think, I don't even know what I was expecting. I think I was expecting wrestlers. I was expecting more people who had knowledge about wrestling, but it was all football athletes coming from the NFL, coming from college, or fitness models, bikini models. Just really beautiful women and also coming from like different sports backgrounds. But I was like, okay, so they're looking for like, I see what they're looking for here. And so I stuck out for sure. I was like this tall basketball frame girl that was just like super energetic and super passionate about it. And I was like, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to show them and I'm going to scream every time they ask me something. And I'm just going to yell my name so they know who I am. I'm going to speak Spanish so they know that I have that in my back pocket. And I'm just going to do everything I need to do. I'm going to throw it all out there.
You were determined.
I was so determined. Oh my gosh. I know there was one part and maybe Coach Bloom will admit to it if he remembers, but in my tryout, he asked us a question after he had already said the answer. And he was like, what makes a good role? And me thinking everybody knows this answer. I was like, a quiet role. And I was the only one who yelled. And I looked around and he goes, that's right. And I was like, okay. I think that really solidified for me that they saw something in me.
Had you had any matches up to that point?
I had like two. I had one with a man, a gentleman that my dad really trusted to kind of get me through my first one on the indies. And then I had like two other ones with some females. Yeah, but they were very brief and it was really quick. I was within like a couple of months of taking my first bump and rolling that my dad was like, let's just try and see and get you out there a little bit and see what happens.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Because some people tell stories of like, it's 10 years of grinding or 15 years of grinding.
Yeah.
You were right place, right time, and right person.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I pushed myself to get to the right place and right time. And yeah, I mean, I was very, very blessed, very lucky because again, I had my dad there with me, guiding me and protecting me and making sure that whatever it is I was doing in the wrestling industry, he was also a part of it because he gave me that knowledge of like how to act, how to be respectful, how to treat other wrestlers, how to put matches together, talking about like the psychology of it. I'm very, very lucky that I still have my dad and I can call him and be like, what'd you think? Oh, what should we change? Or, what can we add here? And sometimes me and him, we sit down and we just watch some old school wrestling and we'll talk about like things I can do and things I can bring back. And it just really helps me keep my tool sharpened, I think.